What's going on, guys? The SSN back again with another video. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you're having an awesome day so far. So welcome to episode 2 of our Miami Dolphins late round draft target mini-series. So in the first episode, I addressed Andre Cisco, the safety from Syracuse. If you want to watch that episode and check out my thoughts on him, I'll put the link right up here. Go ahead and click on it and then come on back to this video. Now, before we get started with this one, if you could do me a massive favor and subscribe to the channel down below and also like this video. Those two things grow the channel a ton and it really means a bunch to me. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, I appreciate it. And let's go ahead and get straight into the video. This guy is also one of my absolute favorite players in this draft class. Super small school. This is a guy who, if he never went to this school and wasn't coming out in the draft, you probably would never have even heard about Wisconsin Whitewater. This is a very small college, very small football program, but has produced one of the best offensive line prospects coming out of the draft. So for episode 2, I'm going to be talking about center and offensive guard Quinn Meinerz. Now, there is a lot of upside to Quinn Meinerz. I think a lot of where people are going to struggle looking at him is, number one, I think above everything else, is the fact that he did go to such a small school, which means lower competition. He's just not going to be facing off against, the premier defensive tackles. Those guys are just going to be few and far between when you go to such a small school with, lower competition. So, the sample size, when you look at Quinn Meinerz, you kind of have to, in a way, take it with a grain of salt because he's just not going up against the Christian Barmores. He's not going up against all of these really solid options defensively. But that still does not mean that he can succeed at the NFL level. I certainly see him as a guy who could make a massive impact, especially as a guy who could be taken later in the draft. I view him more as an offensive guard right at this moment because that's his largest sample size. That's where you see the most of his play in college was at left guard. And to say that he was impressive, I think would be a pretty massive understatement. Quinn Meinerz played really well in college at left guard. He did a lot of things that I really liked. Mainly, he can move in space pretty well. He can pull, and that's something that I always look for in an offensive guard is, does he have the agility and that initial speed right at snap to pull successfully? And he's also very strong and has good hand technique. He also bends his knees and creates a lot of really good leverage against whoever he's facing, which is really valuable. When Quinn Meinerz gets his hands on you at snap, if he gets his hands on you in the right placement, you're not going anywhere. That guy is going to lock you up. He's going to put you on your ass, and I really like that about Quinn Meinerz. And also when he moves in space, when he's pulling and breaking into that second level of defense, he is absolutely destroying whoever he's coming up against, whether that's a linebacker, a safety, a corner, another defensive lineman. He puts people on the ground, and I love that. Also, I do want to talk a little bit about his value at center, where he did, like I said, take plenty of snaps during his pro day and his workouts where Brian Flores was in attendance. And one thing that I did notice that I think would raise some red flags with Quinn Meinerz is, like I said about him at guard, if he, off the snap gets his hands up on you quickly, you're done. There's really zero chance, or at least a very small chance that you're getting into the backfield. However, when he snaps the ball at center, and I noticed this in watching his workouts, he tends to struggle a little bit getting his hands up, and, it just kind of puts him behind. And he lost, his balance, he lost his spot, his footing kind of came up a little bit, and that's where guys tend to get past him at center. But all of that being said, that's nothing that can't be coached up. And when you move to the NFL with better trainers and better coaches and more knowledge, I think that almost any problem that you might have as a player could be coached out of you. So there is value to Quinn Meinerz at center, but in my personal opinion, I think he is more valuable at guard. Now, with all that being said, Quinn Meinerz is one of my absolute favorite players coming out of this draft. I think, in my opinion, he's one of the best offensive guards coming out of the class as well. He's just not talked about because he went to such a small school. But with the connection between him and Brian Flores at the Pro Day, also in the Senior Bowl, I think there has been plenty of opportunity for Flores to get a good look at him. I think that this is the type of player that Flores would really like to work with in the future. So we'll see what happens. But Quinn Meinerz, one of my favorite guys, episode 2 of our late round targets for Miami. And that's going to round out the episode. So I want to know what you guys think down below. Let me know what you think of Quinn Meinerz. Do you think he's one of the best offensive linemen in the draft like I do? Or do you think I'm crazy? Do you think I'm being stupid just because I like the guy? Let me know all that down in the comment section down below. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Stay tuned for episode 3. And if you are interested in, catching it as soon as it comes out, hit the bell icon because that gives you notifications as soon as we post videos. Have an awesome day, guys. I'll see you soon. And as always, fins up.